Hey, so today I'm going to be talking about my story time, which relates to black henna. If you are interested in that, then keep watching. Henna is a natural ingredient. It's prepared from a tree that's referred to a henna tree. It's got a long name, but I'm not even going to try to attempt to pronounce it. But it is a natural ingredient. So brown henna I've always had my whole life. I'm half Moroccan, so in most celebrations, weddings, engagements, birthdays, there's always a henna lady who comes and does some beautiful you know, patterns on your arm, on your hands, on your feet, wherever you can imagine having henna done, you can have it done. So it's a semi-permanent tattoo, so it's really nice for especially little kids who, you know, every little kid is like, oh, I want a tattoo, but obviously we're not going to get one. And this is nice because it's not permanent and it'll just wash away depending on how often you wash, which in this time you should be washing a lot. Okay, this is my story time of when I got black henna done for the first time. So this was just before college, which, as you can imagine, I went to a Spanish school my whole life, and college was going to be a really big deal because it's new people, it's a new place. I went to a Spanish school my whole life with the same people, so you can imagine how nervous I was. But the summer just before September, starting college, we went to Morocco, as we usually do, and black henna was very popular. I remember a few years before we'd go to Spain and they'd have it like down the market and kids would be getting it done, and adults as well, because obviously back then black tattoos, or tattoos, permanent tattoos, were usually black. So when black henna came out, it was like, this is so cool because it looks like I actually went and got a tattoo done. Obviously no one would believe a 14-year-old got a tattoo done, but that's how it used to be. So I'm 16 now, or 15, and we went to Morocco, and usually we stay in Casablanca with my family, but this time our family friends came over and they said, oh, we're gonna go spend a few days in Allergic. So we went and joined them. It was really nice, had a good time, and they had a lady come by the house to do black henna. So we didn't think anything of it. We thought, henna's henna, great, let's do it. My mum got it done, my cousins got it done, Lucy, my sister, got it done, and I got it done. So we stayed there for a few days, and then we went back to Casablanca to my auntie's house. And maybe 2-3 days after I got my henna done, so I got it on my arm here, on my wrist here, over here, and down the side of my leg. So I'll insert some pictures over here while I'm speaking of the actual henna itself on my skin. And maybe 3 days after, I started to feel itching sensation. So I started scratching my skin, obviously, you know, not trying to hurt myself, but just itching, like almost like a mosquito bite sensation, like it's just really hurting. But I wasn't worried. I just thought maybe I got mosquito there or something. But then everything started itching, and it was just where the black henna was, all over my skin started itching. I told my auntie about it. They went to the pharmacy, they tried to get me some cream, put the cream on, and then maybe like within a few hours, like everything happened really quickly. It just started to, I'm going to insert some pictures, however they are not my pictures. This happened when I was 15, so God knows what phone I had back then, and I cannot find the pictures for the life of me. They must be on a really old laptop of mine, and I've tried to find them. However, all the reactions look the same, so I'm going to grab some from online and you will see what it looked like, what I'm describing, because that's exactly what happened to me. So it's almost like it started to swell up in the pattern. So it's so crazy because everywhere else around my hand was smooth, and the pattern, so say there was a flower, that flower petal was swollen, and it had almost like water, you know, when you get a splinter or something and like the liquid starts to come. So it was all swollen in the pattern. You can imagine this was the hardest time of my life. I mean, I've had a few hard times in terms of like ACL surgery, etc. But in terms of skin, this was painful. Yeah, painful. So anyway, that was the process, and I was still in Morocco. There was nothing we could do. I just had to basically put that cream on that wasn't actually doing anything, because essentially what was happening was I was having an allergic reaction to the black henna. And yeah, so it started doing that, and then we travelled back to London. I went to the hospital. The emergency room, basically this wasn't a common thing, and they basically said there's nothing they could do and sent me home. So I went home and my skin started peeling. So when I say peeling, I don't mean sunburn peel, I mean in the pattern my skin was coming off and all I could see was like blood and meat, if that makes sense. Layers of skin peeled, and it was in the pattern. Everywhere else was fine, it was just the pattern that was peeling. How crazy. Like, it sounds like a nightmare, to be honest, and it was. I had no help, I just had to use cream. My poor parents, they probably suffered too, hearing me cry all night. I couldn't wear, it was summertime, I'm starting college, and I had to wear jeans to hide my leg. I had to wear a bandage. And think about it, if you're putting something on your skin when it's peeling and not letting it breathe and heal, when you take off the bandage, it's going to peel your skin off with the bandage, and that's what was happening every day. It was so bad, so bad. Oh, I can't emphasize how bad it was. It was essentially you're getting burned every day. That's what it was. And it was my wrist here, a long one on my arm and a long one on my leg. So yeah, that's like a little backstory of like the process and how I felt. And obviously just being devastated that I'm starting college like this. Luckily I play basketball, so I was just telling people, oh, I injured my hand playing basketball and I had the bandage on. But later on, you know, once it healed, it did scar. I would have people asking me at basketball, because I have to wear shorts, people asking me, oh, what's that on your leg? And it's so funny how we think when we're younger, we're so embarrassed, whereas now I'd be like, oh, guess what happened to me, like, watch out for the black henna, look, I've burnt myself, la la la. Whereas back then I'd be like, oh, nothing, I don't know, it's just something that happened, I don't want to talk about it. I'd feel really self-conscious, and it's really silly how we are when we're younger, but now I really don't care. So I established from that I'm allergic to the chemical that's in black henna, and what the chemical is called is PPD, and I'm just going to read about it. So on Google right now, if I put PPD, it says not everyone has a reaction to black henna, but it can be painful if you do. It can be. It is painful. The signs range from discomfort such as burning or tingling to painful stinging, swelling, redness and blistering of the skin. Exactly what I just said. I haven't read this before, I'm telling you, that's exactly what it was. It was burning, it was blistering of the skin, and it was peeling. Oh my god, redness. And trust me, when I show you the pictures, it's horrible, and just beware. But you have to see this to really like take this seriously and have a test done before you do any of that. So yeah, that's what it says. And PPD, later on I realized that PPD is also a chemical that's put into hair dye and also in eyebrow tinting. Look at all these things. I did not know any of these things, and I'm going to insert pictures here. I got my hair done, it was fine. And that's another thing, you can progress allergic reactions out of nowhere. I dyed my hair, it was fine. Dyed my hair another time, my whole head was on fire. On fire. I had to like not go into work because my head was on fire, all of this was swollen. I had to put yogurt on my head to relieve and soothe the pain. Cold yogurt, oh my god, the best feeling. Or if you pour like milk on your head, because it feels like your head's on fire. That's what it feels like. And then another time a friend of mine did my eyebrows, and she put tint on them, and she did only one eyebrow, and once she put the tint, it was on my eyebrow for about 30 seconds. I kid you not, 30 seconds. And I said, I don't know what it was, because I haven't done all this research yet, and this was before my hair dye situation. And I said, wait a second, take it off, take it off. Like, I don't know why, I have a feeling it might have the same chemical as the black henna, because eyebrow tint is basically black henna. It's tint, it's semi-permanent tint. So she took it off. 2 days later, I was working in MAC. 2 days later, I couldn't wear eyebrow pencil because my whole eyebrow was red. I'm gonna insert some pictures. It was red and swollen from 30 seconds of having that on my eyebrow. Crazy, crazy. So yeah, I realized that I'm allergic. Well, not realized, I know that I'm allergic to eyebrow tint, to hair dye, and to black henna, which I'm never obviously going to do that in my life again. But in terms of hair dye, I really want to dye my hair, and if you guys know any options, please comment down below and let me know. I mean, I really know what I'm going to do. I'll probably still dye my hair, but not dye it from the roots so that it doesn't actually touch my skin. I know that's risky, but I really want to dye my hair. It's a frustrating thing. Like, a few years later, after this whole thing happened with my hand, I actually saw it on one of like the news shows on UK TV. I think it was This Morning or Good Morning, something like that. With Piers, actually, I think it was with Piers Morgan, and they were interviewing a little girl who had exactly the same thing as me, and I was like, wait a sec, I could have been on TV. Like, this happened to me a few years back. But it's crazy how the media make things so dramatic, because although it is dramatic, the title was 6-year-old permanently scarred for life due to black henna. She was 6, I was 15. You would think a 15-year-old would be scarred, but I am so grateful to God that my skin has healed. Like, look at my skin, there is no scarring. Sometimes I can see a little bit of the shadows, but that's because I know where it was. But there's no scarring across my hand. I had it on my fingers, everywhere. There's no scarring. The only scar I do have, I'll insert a picture right here, is on my leg where the skin peeled really badly. So I've got like one little petal on my skin. Funny enough, I went for a massage and the man actually asked me, my friend, he actually asked me, oh, what did you injure yourself, what's this? And I said, oh, it's a petal from black henna a few years back. So yeah, that is the only scarring I have. I have a little bit of scarring here, but you can't really see it. It's just a little bit. As I said, I can notice it because I know where it was, but no one else would notice it. So I'm very, very grateful that a few years went by and the scars slowly went away, because I don't know what I would do if they stayed permanently. But I guess if it did, you know, you learn how to deal with it. It becomes part of you. Like the petal on my leg, it's a part of me, it's a story to tell. But yeah guys, this was my henna story. I hope that more of you become a bit more aware and awake, not like me who was a bit oblivious. I mean, I was only 15. We didn't really have the internet like that where we'd hear loads of stories and stuff. So I hope you really take it seriously. Definitely, when you go for hair dye, I know it seems long, get that patch test. They didn't do the patch test for my hair, never. And this was a well-known hairdresser, and I went back to them and they were like scared because I could have like really got them into trouble, but I didn't. Get a patch test for that. Get a patch test for your eyebrow tinting. Don't assume that you're just going to be fine. Do it. I could have lost my eyebrow hairs. That would have been crazy. But they're fine. And with black henna, it's really not worth it. I mean, I don't really see the point. I'm at a point right now that I don't even do natural henna, but that's just a preference thing. It's really scarred me for life that I don't want anything put on my skin. I just don't want to risk it. Not worth it. I know henna won't do anything, natural henna, but I just can't be bothered with it. I've just stopped. So it's up to you guys what you want to do, but that's just my story, and just want to give a bit of information in regards to that, as it is a crazy thing and you need to be careful. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.